This is the Real Texas Barber Q. Thank you for joining me. This is a class on the 15-minute traditional ball fade with detachable clippers only. Here's the things that I use to complete this haircut. So first here we see that we have a client, and he hasn't been to me in a while. So what I'm gonna do is take my 1 3/4 blade and I'm gonna debulk his entire head, just getting all the heaviness off. He's a client that he has hair that grows in many different directions, so I have to take my time and cut everything against the grain to make sure I can get it all as even as possible before I actually start the fade itself. And I'm just going through debulking. As you can see, I'm using an old school pair of Andy 76. I love these clippers. I had them when I was in barber school. I've had them over the years, and I kept track of them, and I keep them in good working condition. They're a very powerful clipper, and I actually love them. Very good clipper. So here I'm going in. I'm just debulking everything in his head. Kind of all over the place. This client has hair that grows several different directions, not just one direction or the traditional direction that hair normally grows. His hair grows in many different directions, as you can see right here. And I'm combing everything down to make sure I don't miss any spots. Any dark spots I see, I go back over them. Constantly cleaning my clippers, constantly combing. As you can see on the top, his hair actually grows sideways, so it makes things a little bit difficult. But this haircut was all able to be completed in less than 15 minutes. So now I'm going to brush everything down, make sure everything is smooth. Make sure everything is the way it actually should be, and that everything is cut evenly. So once I start the actual cut itself and the fade, I'm not spending a whole lot of time going back fixing problems. And this client likes his hair to be cut very low. He's a guy that comes normally every 2 to 3 weeks, so he likes to keep his things low. Alright, now here I'm taking my 1A and I'm going down with the grain just to smooth everything out now. And I'm only focusing on the top, the apex of the head, and I'm focusing on the parietal ridge in the front. Catching some of the sides, not really being too concerned about the back or areas that are going to be faded out. I'm just kind of smoothing everything out, so all the no fringe hair is standing up and the hair is laying down nice and smooth. That way, as I'm fading, the hair will lay quicker and it'll lay easier in the pattern that I want it to be in. Here we go, just smoothing everything out, following the pattern, the natural hair growth pattern. That's the pattern that I'm following as I go through and go around his head. As you can see, I got other clients walking in and people sitting down waiting. Certain areas of his head, you just have to kind of work it and work everything down as smooth as possible, so it already looks like the top is laying down and the sides are laying down, preparing for the fade. Getting all the hair off of him, keep my client comfortable, keeping him safe. All the tools that I'm using here are already pre-sanitized and clean. Now I'm going to use my Babyliss Gold FX edger. This is one of the best cordless edgers I think that's on the market. Good for adults, good for kids. They hit hard. And I'm starting just a normal edge. I'm starting from the front, following areas. As you can see, I'm following areas of the anatomical features of his face to make sure that my edge up is nice and straight. As I'm going through, I'm just kind of hitting the edge. Now I'm hitting my long points on my head, on the edge up, which is coming right off the corner of the eye, corner of the eyebrow, and just going around cleaning it up. I like to do this so as I start fading, I can start seeing my picture come alive. Now I'm going back and I'm balling out. I'm going not against the with the grain or making that hard line. I'm making a line of demarcation going up with my Babyliss Gold FX. As you can see here, I'm not focusing on the line so much right now. I'm just kind of roughing it out so I can see my picture start to come alive as the haircut progresses. That way I can move quickly and I can make sure that everything is even. And see, I'm using some of the anatomical features of his face, the corner of his eye for my sides, for my sidebars, and I'm using the center of his head to catch my middle. And then I'm just connecting the dots, making sure everything is squared off and looking nice. As you can see, it came out to be a really nice edge. Now I'm going in, I'm making a line of demarcation with my Babyliss Gold FX. And once again, these are some awesome clippers. I love them. They recharge, rechargeable, cordless. They last me all day. The blade is good enough to go on kids. The zero gap is easy, and I can keep things going with this. So I'm just going in and making that demarcation line pretty much as even as possible. I don't concern myself with having a perfectly straight bottom line because that line is actually going to fade out anyway. So it doesn't completely have to be perfect. I know a lot of people spend a lot of time making it perfect. Now here I am with my OA blade. I'm making my first weight line with the OA, and I'm just going all around. I typewriter on this cut because it's just quicker, and I can make it more simple for myself. This is just the way I cut. Some people cut one side all the way. Some people typewriter. Some people fade up, some people fade down. I'm making my first line of demarcation for the way that I do this cut. This is with the OA blade, the standard OA blade, not the OA modified or the OAFD, just the regular OA blade. Okay, now I'm taking my 3/0, which is the next blade down, and I'm following that same line again. And I'm not making any hard lines, but what I am doing is I'm not going up as high as I did with the OA. That way I can catch, it's basically a fade down technique. And see, as I catch this, you can maybe see it in this video. It's still a slight line at the bottom, but if you look at it, your line here, that's still the 3/0. I'm sorry, the 3/0, and I'm fading down. To get that bottom line out, I'm taking my 4/0 and I'm fading that bottom line out. So my edger made a 5/0. I set the line of demarcation with a OA. I went down to a 3/0 and I went down to a 4/0. Following detachable blades, that's your fade. That fade is basically done. Now I'm going over my number 1, and I'm setting that number 1 basically at the top of the parietal ridge. Just to follow it around. I can typewriter it around. I don't have to do too much, and I just spin my chair and keep going, brushing it down so I can see what I have going, make sure everything is nice and even in case I do have to go back and clean any areas. Now once I get done with that, I'm using my OA. I'm sorry, I take that back. I'm using my 1A blade, 1A to go in and create another transition and to do the blend with my with my 1A. That's past the parietal ridge. I'm coming into the top of the hair, brushing it down as I go, just to see how my hair is laying and what it's doing. His hair, you have to go a couple of little different directions because of his natural growth pattern. It doesn't grow all the same, so you have to just kind of keep working it. Now I'm kind of going diagonal, which is giving me that blend. Again, this is with my 1A blade, 1 alpha. And I click and pop these blades so fast, it doesn't take a long time to go through, try and find an area on the, like you would the adjustable clipper, actually trying to find the length. I'm just going in, grabbing the next blade that I choose, and I'm going. And see, I'm doing kind of a diagonal C stroke. Up and up. I call this a C-stroke slide. I'm doing basically a C-stroke, but I'm kind of sliding to kind of start filtering into the next area of the head where I'm already going to go next. And his hair has some difficult areas just because of the growth pattern. Now I just put on the 1A blade, and the 1A blade is going right at the top of the coming from the crown to the parietal ridge, and all it does is the blade I have between the 1 3/4 that I used on the top and the 1/8. The blade between that is a 1 1/2, which I have on the 76 now. And once you hit that, you blending it out, and it's just gonna fade in real nice and smooth for you, because that's the order and transition of those blades. So there you go. See, as you can see, I hit it and it transitioned out real fine. And since I already laid it down at the beginning, I don't have to worry about going in and worrying about the hair. Now I'm just going in and I'm hitting little spots that I see and things that I see, but still all with a detachable blade. See, and I can go in still with the same blade, and I don't have to find it again, because I know exactly what blade I used in what area of his head. And then if I have to, I can go back in and work with the corner of the blade, feather the blade. Now I'm going to go ahead and ball it the rest of the way out. The first time I went up to create that first line of demarcation, now I'm going down, because with these clippers, the down motion gives me a nice solid cut, taking it down to skin. And as you can see, as it comes down, the haircut really, the picture of the haircut really starts to pop in, where you can really see my fade. You can really see the transition and everything that's going on in this cut. It's comfortable for my client, it's easy for me, and I can keep it going. I can do that really quick. Clean the bottom of the neck, just getting rid of all that hair, making sure I don't have any stragglers left over or anything that'll make my cut look really bad. I try to make it look as smooth as possible, clean as possible. This cut like this will last him a good 2, if he stretch it, a good 3 weeks before he actually has to come back and see me. I'm gonna do his beard at the end, but that's for an entirely different video. Right now, this is just about your traditional ball fade. And in my shop, we're equipped with air hoses, so I use the air hose to get the hair off of him and the excess off his body, off the cape. And now I'm going to go in and I use a holding spray just to kind of hold that hair right there where I want it. And it looked like my holding spray is out. Yeah, my holding spray is out. So I had to borrow a holding spray from the gentleman that's next to me, my good friend Mr. Wayne. Also another great barber that's an Extraordinary Cuts Barbershop in Houston, Texas. 11010 Perry Road, Houston, Texas 77064. If you have in the area, stop by, check us out, come see the shop, come meet all the other barbers. And now that I sprayed him down with some holding spray, I'm just going to go ahead with my blow dryer and just kind of give it some cool setting to make sure that holding spray is nice and dry. Now, since I already roughed out his edge at the beginning, I have a little bit different process that I do, and it saves me a lot of time. I'm getting everything together here. All right. Always turn your client directly toward the mirror. Set their head so you can make sure that you see your line. Make sure you see that it's straight. Make sure you see that it's symmetrical. And I'm going to take my straight razor and I'm going with the grain, going straight down, just kind of cleaning the edge of that, the edge of his edge up. The edge of his edge up. That sounds kind of weird, but just cleaning the little straggling hairs on his edge up, just to make it look a little sharper. Cleaning my long bars, cleaning along the edge. There you go. My little trusty straight razor. I love a straight razor. You get good with that straight razor, enhancements are always not necessary, because that straight razor is going to do what it's been doing for barbers for a long time. It's going to make it pop. And there we go. And now I'm just going to look at his edge, and I see little spots that may need to be fixed. I can go ahead and clean those. I look in the mirror and find everything. I always keep my client toward the mirror. As you can see, boom, the edge is popping. It's all clean, looks really good. I'm pretty satisfied with that cut. and I'm under 15 minutes. Max